Welcome to the Mortgage Broker Podcast, tailor-made for Canadian mortgage industry professionals. Proudly presented by a Better Way Mortgage Group, this podcast is your trusted source for insider insights, market updates, and strategies to elevate your career in the ever-evolving world of mortgage brokering. Whether you're a seasoned broker with a Better Way Mortgage Group or an industry enthusiast looking to stay ahead, our episodes are designed to empower you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in the Canadian mortgage space. All right, we're back for another episode of the Mortgage Broker Podcast, and today we're going to talk about how to build a sustainable book of business through retention, and that primarily means we're going to be talking about database and how to ensure that you're getting at least 65% of your business from your database. And we all know, like, you got to start somewhere, and a lot of folks are starting with realtors. That is the easiest way to get business. But once you have a book of business, especially if you're rolling into your fourth or fifth year in the business, this is where it really becomes important to ensure that you're nurturing that database. And we're going to talk about this in deep here. I know Derek doesn't like this term, but this role is called the Director of WOW for many folks. I mean, for many people listening, you probably heard of the Director of WOW throughout the industry. That's essentially what this role is, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're not necessarily going to talk about you got to hire somebody to do these activities for you. We're just going to go through the activities that you should be doing to ensure that you're hitting that 65% of your business from your client database. And again, it comes down to retention. You know, a lot of people think about car industry as an example. Car dealerships have retention managers, and that's exactly what this is. It's just that built-in non-negotiable retention activities that need to be happening. And so we're going to jump in here right now. I'll just quickly start off with saying that we did do a very deep training session on this within our brokerage, which, just started off with what is the Director of WOW? What is a success manager? What is a retention manager? It's essentially an internal position whose sole responsibility is cultivating love and appreciation with every interaction. So the focus is to leave a positive and lasting impression, ensuring you have a clean database while fostering meaningful connections with your clients, referral partners, and your agents. So let's just jump right in. Again, I don't want to go too deep here because we did go real deep on the role itself. I really just want to focus on the activities. I'll maybe just start off with like the top 2 reasons why you would implement these activities or this role. One, purify your database. So if you're going to implement this role as an example of hiring somebody to do this for you, or you're going to do this yourself, think about purifying your database. So getting the garbage in, garbage out is essentially what you should think of here. So if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. So you want to make sure you got clean data going into your CRM. If you don't have a CRM, turn this episode off. Like, it doesn't make any sense to implement this role or activities if you don't have a CRM. It's going to be the heart of ensuring that you can actually achieve this. You've got to have a CRM first and foremost. It only works. The CRM only works if you're connecting with your clients and updating the CRM. So that's key. Number 2 reason why to implement this: create emotional connections. The WOW is the relationship you have, not the service you provide, and solve for the emotion, not the problem. Focus on feelings, not facts. So stop starting from scratch. And what I mean by that is constantly trying to go get new business. There's great business, there's great relationships with people that already trust you. And Derek, maybe you can kind of just start off with the hard truth.
Yeah, I mean, it can be up to 25 times more expensive to acquire a new client than to retain your existing database. And when you think about that, it makes a lot of sense. You got to think about your time as cost as well, right? And the amount of marketing material, the phone calls, the energy, the meetings with realtors, financial planners, whoever it might be, to try to drive that one client out. Whereas if you have a database that you're not marketing to, you're not communicating to, like, those people know you, they understand your process. You probably did a great job for them. They're probably really happy with the experience, and they're waiting for you to connect with them. A repeat customer will buy quicker. They'll negotiate less because they know you. They'll refer you far more often, again, because they know you and they've been through the process themselves. A lot of these realtors, they haven't actually gotten a mortgage from you. They're easier to work with because of the relationship that you already have in place. They're typically going to be a little bit more patient, and they're going to stick around if you continue to work with them and continue to talk to them. It kind of goes the same into the same bucket as a dedicated employee. They're going to work harder. They're going to refer people to the company. They're going to be more engaged. If they feel valued and appreciated, again, think about yourself. A lot of people forget that, we're in a sales business, but everyone is constantly working through, have you bought a house? When's the last time you went to a movie or went to a restaurant? Like, if you had a really, really good experience at a restaurant, you're probably going to leave there and you're probably going to tell your friends and your family to go there because it was so good. Are you taking the extra time to communicate with these people? I mean, things as little as Google reviews. I'm blown away. A lot of people don't have Google reviews as a mortgage broker. If you're doing a good job for your clients, I promise you, they will write you Google reviews, but you have to ask and you have to make it easy for them to find that page. In addition to that, you have to ask them for referrals. You'd be blown away, but a lot of people, especially if they've been, an employee their whole life, they might look at this and think, well, oh, that's more work for Derek. I don't want to bother Derek with my brother's mortgage. Like, they actually think it's a job, right? So you have to kind of break through that and let them know that, you're looking to grow, you're looking to build. The more people that you can work with, the better. And you'd love to chat with anyone that they know that might need a second opinion on their financing. That's the biggest piece, is you got to think about cost in all this as well. Like, it's a heck of a lot easier to work with your existing clients, but you can spend a shitload of money trying to gain new clients as well.
This is a good quote that we actually went through a very detailed training session, again, within our brokerage, but we also got to witness a presentation on this at the DLCG universities in February. And one of the quotes I took from that session was from the CEO of Zappos, Tony Heish, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. We took the money that we would normally have spent on marketing, advertising, and PR and invested it into our customer service. Customers did more advertising than we could pay for. You think about this as a role and hiring somebody to do these activities for you, that money that it costs to spend on that role, it will far outweigh what anything you could spend on marketing, whether it's, bus ads or Facebook ads or you name it. It just goes such a long way when you can actually focus on that. And again, like, the secret to retaining existing clients, it's not that difficult. You just need the wow factor. When we experience a wow, we are 4 times more likely to post something positive on social media, refer friends and family, and become raving fans. So I always just, like, the perfect example for me is that when I watch a really good TV show or a really good movie, like, I'm just instantly telling people, like, you need to watch this. You need to also experience this. And it's the same sort of thing.
The wow factor is something that you're doing different than everyone else, right? Like, what are you doing that makes you stand out? And, people start to think about, like, these big, high level, extravagant, like, it doesn't have to be like that. I talked to a mortgage broker that sent cookies. Like, they literally sent cookies to the person's office or workplace the day after they removed subjects. And people were blown away. Like, they posted on Instagram. They love it. They're telling everyone at work, because everyone gets a cookie at work. Like, it's so smart. And it probably cost them $25 to do that. Right. So, like, these little creative things that, again, it's going to make someone literally say, wow. And that's the stuff that they're going to remember.
One thing to really key in on is just when somebody is more likely to refer you. And we're just talking in regards to just retention here for the most part. But again, like, when you experience that wow factor, you are going to be more likely to refer. And when are you going to make those referrals is typically when you're experiencing it. And so a large amount of referrals that come from existing clients typically comes during the process. And so to keep a real focus on that, it's not when the deal's after the deal's funded and you're just hoping that somebody refers to you. It's actually during that process is when they're typically going to make that referral. And it's, think of, when you're in the mix of, buying a home, going through a mortgage financing, what have you, you're probably talking about it at work, at the lunch, in the lunchroom, at the water cooler, what have you. So Jason, maybe you can just touch on the touch points and it really comes back to the database management and just, again, the magic is really in those touch points.
It's really about how often are we communicating with the clients in our database, and are you calling your database twice a year? And if no one's answering and people don't tend to pick up the phone anymore, what sort of a message are you leaving? Is it an uplifting message that's going to make somebody want to call you back? Of course, I think, as previously mentioned, ensuring that your database is really clean. by updating and verifying all of the contact details. We want to make sure that everything that we have in is regular and up to date. Regularly calling on individuals marked as cold or on hold. So, many of us have, pre-approvals in the database that have gone stagnant, and perhaps the client has, or the applicant hasn't found a property, and multiple different reasons as to why it would be on hold. But are you continuously touching base with that person to make sure that things haven't moved? And if they have moved, are you a part of that? Overseeing emails and SMS touch points is birthdays, anniversary dates, and checkups. So, are we touching base with our people? Are we actually up to date on all of the details with our clients? And, do you have someone facilitating gifting and personalized touch points like thank you cards and closing gifts and all of that? And I don't think these things need to be extravagant, but sometimes it's, it's really just the thought that matters. And, are we doing that as a nice little touch that no one else has been doing?
It always comes back to consistency and just making sure this is happening every single time on every single interaction, every single file. And sometimes that's just very difficult to do as a mortgage broker. And I think that's why we've largely focused on hiring for this role and making it a specific role. The beauty about that is, and which we're going to roll into, is just some of the sample call scripts that can be utilized when somebody's reaching out on your behalf. And also when somebody's reaching out on your behalf, those conversations tend to be a lot quicker and to the point, opposed to when you're the one reaching out to your database. Those calls can go a little bit longer. More detailed questions can come up. What we found is typically the average call for somebody doing this role is around 5 to 10 minutes, where when the actual mortgage broker or agent is doing it, could be somewhere around 30 minutes, because again, you're getting into much more detail than you need to be. So maybe we can just jump into a call script. So let's assume that we've hired somebody to do these activities for us. This is an example of just how easy the call script could be. And so if I was, the success manager making the call, this is we'll just ad lib this right now, and this is the script I would use. So, hi, my name is Dean Lawton. I'm calling on behalf of Derek Williamson at A Better Way Mortgage Group. How are you today? Derek is in a meeting with a client, but he mentioned he hasn't connected with you in a while and wanted me to quickly check in to see if there's anything we could do to help you. Are there any questions you need answered, or do you have any mortgage finance needs for you or for your family? Just that simple, like just to the point, that simple. Typically, this is kind of the response that we would expect to see. So client response number one would be, oh, that's great. As a matter of fact, your timing is perfect. We were just talking about redoing our mortgage or buying another home. So the assistant's response would be, great. I will schedule a call with Derek and he can review your mortgage. What is your best contact information to use? And so I'm going to pause right there, because this is now the opportunity to clean up that data. So we're going to make sure we have the right contact information. Regardless of your calling and they answered, they may have a more preferred number. Maybe you're calling them on their work number that you weren't aware of. Maybe they've changed numbers and they have a better number for personal use. Maybe they have a new email address, what have you. Get that information correct on this call. And that's the assistant's opportunity to do that on this call. Also, going back to the initial call script of, mentioning that, hey, Derek asked me to call you. He's in a meeting right now. This is back to, just ensuring that you're the one reaching out. There isn't that, you're making that clear that we want to know what's going on. We care about you, but also that Derek's in a meeting and busy right now. So we didn't want to waste time and ensure that this call still happened. So just really want to point out those two pieces that are very, very key. And then the second variation of a response could be is, thank you for the call. I don't need anything at the moment, but I will keep you in mind if anything changes. So that's somebody that, is appreciative of the call. Again, these people know who Derek is. They know who the agent is. It's very unlikely you're going to get negative call or feedback. These aren't cold calls by any means. And in the case that you had that response where the client doesn't need anything right now, the assistant's response should still be an opportunity to make sure the data is clean. And that's going to be just something like this. That's perfect. Thank you so much. While I have you, can I confirm your information so that we have the right contact details to send you anything to do with your mortgage or market updates? So again, this is just an opportunity to ensure we have the right email, we got the preferred phone number, whatever it is, even confirming the address. Some people, may have bought, 3-4 years ago. Maybe they sold and are renting. Maybe they rented their house out and are renting. Who knows? Like, you never know what's going on, especially if you haven't touched base with these folks in a while. So take these opportunities to clean database. Always think that, again, like, if there's nothing to be had, if there's no opportunity, clean the database.
Yeah, I mean, those are all great points. I wouldn't change or add to that. I mean, that's like a, kind of an ad hoc check-in. I'd say something else that you would want to implement if you're not doing this currently is an annual review. Annual review is a little bit of a different structure. It's less ad hoc. Like, you're doing these every single year for the life of the mortgage, and it's a check-in with a bit of a flow for the call. And, it's a general check-in, but, it'd probably take about 15, 20 minutes, but you're chatting with the client. Have they have any major life changes? Have they changed anything to do with their mortgage? A lot of people are converting into fixed without even talking to their broker. Have they added a HELOC? Do they have debt? Are they up to date on their taxes? Maybe at time of purchase, they didn't want to take MPP or any type of insurance because there's too much going on. It's a perfect reason to follow up on those. It's a general kind of check-in on their financial well-being. And a lot of stuff comes up in those conversations about life. Maybe they had a kid or they lost their dog. And in those situations, again, that wow factor, like, send them some flowers. It doesn't have to be expensive. Spend $20 and send them flowers to their house if it's needed or if you see fit. And those are the things that just go so far, right? People will remember that. Or this business can be very transactional, and you got to keep in mind, like, it can be very stressful for brokers. It's extremely stressful for these clients and consumers, right? Like, they don't deal with this stuff every day. For a lot of people, even finding their T4s is a challenge, right? So we got to keep in mind that this process, unless we are doing more than we need to be to make it a little bit, positive and enjoyable, I think that it can be pretty daunting. So do everything you can to, take the time to have detailed conversations, get to know your clients, build a relationship, and an annual review is going to take you 15 minutes once a year, and you get to have an awesome chat with your clients.
So we just touched on a couple activities here, just like Jason touched on, the touch points in the database, and we just shared a couple scripts and what that could look like. Derek touched on the annual reviews, which I couldn't agree with more. I want to roll into another area. If you are hiring for this, people think like, how am I going to keep this person busy? One thing I didn't touch on earlier, which I meant to, was if you are going to hire for this role, make sure it's laser focused on just these activities. As soon as you start rolling in administrative tasks like document chasing, just anything to do with a client journey, this role will get fragmented and they'll start to focus on those other items. So I want to keep the path on this role specifically and some of the other things, activities that they can be focused on. Jason, maybe you could touch on social media engagement and just where this role could be very active. And again, if you're not hiring for this role, where you could maybe time block and do some social media engagement activities.
I think most of us are living on social media right now, either from, posting a lot or just scrolling and looking at a lot of things. So, are you looking at your social media for opportunities to support and make positive connections? And, perhaps it's some of your clients whose, daughter got married and you're sending a congratulatory message or something along those lines, just to stay connected with individuals within the database. I think the social media component of it strengthens relationships, and it kind of shows that, I'm a person too. Like, I'm out in the market, I'm doing things. I have kids, I have family and all that, and try to make connections that way. We all know what the social media platforms are right now. But I think finding ways to be able to understand what's going on in your clients' lives and perhaps touching and just a quick reach out, hello, or whatever it is that kind of, comments on milestones that they're potentially going through. Not to kind of jump off track on this, but I actually read a very interesting stat a couple of days ago, just in regards to, the lack of follow-up that financial professionals were having with their clients. And it was kind of an alarming stat to me that 76% of people never use the same real estate agent for their next transaction. And the reason for that was not because they did a bad job, but they forgot their name and they forgot their phone number and their contact details. Had that person in any profession just made these reach outs and kept top of mind, the lion's share of that business would be coming through. So, I think there's many different ways that we can, stay in touch, and social media is just one of them.
I'm glad you made that point, and I'll get back on track with just some of the other activities, but I want to just comment on that alone. And this is just, again, ad hoc. Like I live on property. I buy firewood every year. I had a great experience of where I got my firewood last year. I can't find that guy's name for the life of me in my phone. And I sure wish he would have texted me or wished me a happy birthday, because I would remember who he is. And again, like, I want to go do business with that individual again. And I don't know who he is. I can't find him. So perfect example. And somewhere where, all these activities we're talking about, the one industry that just nails this for whatever reason, it must be taught in school where they go get educated. Dentists have this absolutely dialed. I get a happy birthday. I get some form of a reach out from my dentist every single time, and I bet a lot of you do too. For whatever reason, dentists just have this nailed, and so that rolls into another activity that we can stay focused on, is just around celebrations and milestones. So I'll take this one. Just ensuring you are tracking those birthdays and implementing a standard process for celebration amongst the team. So if this is a role that you're hiring for, this person should be reaching out on those moments. A lot of this can be automated. We talked about this in, the Gold Rush side of things when it comes to, the Gold Rush campaign, or just a general birthday campaign in your CRM is just so easy to do. But, if you're, hiring for this role, maybe reach out and have a quick phone call or a personalized text message, card, what have you. This employee should be managing all employee milestones, such as any anniversaries, like whether it's, the annual reviews that Derek mentioned, or just any key moments in life. If you are patrolling social media, you might notice that somebody just had a child. These are all moments that you want to, reach out and provide that extra level of care. So think of that. Just really any time that you can offer some moment of wow, consider that. And a pro tip here is implementing some version of a what about me or an all about me process within your journey. And what I mean by that is having a form of simple questions like, what is your favorite drink? What is your favorite restaurant? What is your favorite indulgence? So whatever it is, tracking that in your CRM in some form could be very powerful for when you go to make these wow opportunities. Is actually taking that information and sending them their favorite drink, a gift card for a restaurant, or sending them their favorite alcoholic beverage, or better yet, coffee, whatever it is. Think about that. The next area I want to touch on, maybe Derek, you can take this away, is just around introductions and where you're, if you are going to, again, back to if you are going to hire for this role, or if you want to implement some automated actions within your processes around introductions. So let's just think of, a realtor has referred you business, or, anyone in your business has referred you, like just what you can do to show appreciation to those folks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to reward the action of the referral. Like, as we all know, you're not going to close every single lead that comes in. So at that point, I don't think you should be spending a ton of money on a thank you gift for a simple referral. Maybe if it closes and you want to do a referral gift, that would make more sense. And I think you want to change these things up every, year to 2 years, because if you keep doing the same thing and someone's referring you a lot, it kind of loses its value and importance. But, rewarding that. So I think, you could do something as simple as like as a card with a scratch and win. You could do $5 to Tim Hortons, or probably not Starbucks, because you can't buy a coffee for $5, but something small, just rewarding that action. You should get it out immediately, like same day, hopefully within a couple hours. Just, thank you so much for the referral of Dean. We've already connected with him, and we're well on track to, work through the mortgage application. Yeah. And in addition to that, I think, back to the power of data, you got to track all this, right? You got to track your referral sources and the people that are supporting you, they're your top 3. You should be doing something special for them every single year. And, one thing that has worked really well for us over the years is when you kind of find that avatar referral partner, realtor, financial planner, accountant, whatever, they probably know other people that operate in the same fashion as them. So asking them for introductions to another agent that's just like them, I can guarantee you that they know some of them. So, kind of figure out what that avatar is, track your people. You also want to look at referral partners that you might not want to use. right? And just being aware and again, just taking care of the people that are taking care of you.
And I'll wrap up and just, again, back to, if you're going to hire for this position, what is the perfect avatar for this role? So I'll touch on that. And before I do, if anything that we've mentioned, such as Derek mentioned the rhythm chart, we talked about the scripts earlier. If you want any of these items, wherever you're listening to this, just comment tools or send us a message, tools, and we'll send you the call scripts. We'll send you the job description for this role, which I'm going to touch on now, and the rhythm chart. Any of these items, we're happy to share them. So the director of WOW or the success manager, retention manager, the perfect avatar is going to be somebody that's pleasant and has an outgoing personality. That is super, super important. This person is going to be, they should have exceptional communication skills, strong interpersonal skills, definitely want some social media savviness. If they're not social media savvy, that definitely isn't going to be somebody you don't want to hire, because you want to make sure that they're on social media and they have the wherewithal to kind of navigate those platforms. They should be a team player, positive attitude, and has a beautiful smile to their voice and makes everyone feel good. That is so important. Like when you get this call, you want to make sure it's very uplifting and somebody is going to make that person happy on the other end of the phone. Perfect example, we hired this role in the earlier days when we were brokering, and I used to get calls and text messages from friends that were just embedded throughout my database, like, wow, who is that person that called? She sounds so friendly, so nice, like, thank you. Like it was just, I got so many compliments on how nice that person sounded on the phone. So that's very, very important. And ultimately, that's where we're going to wrap up. We went very deep on this topic in our training session that we have on our agent intranet. So if you're an agent with a better way, make sure to go to the agent intranet and you can watch the full recording of this training session. We really dive deep there. Again, if you want these tools, if you're a better way agent, they're on the internet under the tools or resources. If you're listening to this and you're not an agent with us, just simply comment tools and we'll send them to you, or send us an email, reach out to us any which way, and we'll help you with this. We'll wrap it up there. It was a great episode. Again, this is such an important piece. Your database is such an important piece. And if you stayed on for the whole ride here, it means you probably have a CRM, because I told you to stop listening if you didn't have a CRM. So again, if anyone needs any help with this, I would say we're confidently experts in this field. We've done very, very well brokering because of this role specifically, and we're always happy to help. So thanks for listening, and on to the next one. Thank you for tuning in. If you found value in this show, please subscribe to our channel on your preferred platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your support is incredibly appreciated. We also welcome your reviews and feedback, which are crucial in helping us deliver outstanding educational content. Feel free to share your thoughts. A 5-star review would be fantastic if you think we earned it. Lastly, a vital announcement about Backpack Buddies, our chosen charity for 2024. This remarkable organization addresses a hidden hunger issue many are unaware of. In British Columbia, while school districts provide meals during school hours, numerous children face food scarcity at home, particularly during weekends. Backpack Buddies steps in to support these vulnerable children, ensuring they have easy to prepare, familiar food for weekends. This is achieved through collaborations with schools and an extensive distribution network. Your contribution can make a significant difference. With just $20, you can give a child in need a food bag from Backpack Buddies filled with enough meals and snacks to sustain them over the weekend and more. Once again, thank you for listening, and see you on the next one.